Talk about it, man. The great debate. What is your top five Jay-Z albums? I was just watching some on YouTube, and I never really did, a top five of my favorite artists, like, the Nas, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne's, Kanye, T.I., so forth and so on. But it's been a big debacle, you know what I'm saying? A very big debate of what is considered Jay-Z's best album, what is his top five, and do he have a couple albums with fillers? What should have been considered his real number one single? But for me, what would my top five be? Well, let's start from the beginning. We all know how Jay-Z came, in the game. Far as his first singles with Ain't No Nigga, him, Foxy Brown, we know the history behind that. But this right here is where I became a Jay-Z fan. This album, you see what it is. 10th anniversary was a while ago, you know what I'm saying, 2010, or 2011, my bad. But yeah, the Blueprint was when I really, really started getting into Jay-Z's music. And it made me go back and get his first album, Reasonable Doubt, and get Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. The Dynasty was out, around that time before the Blueprint. And then you got Blueprint 2, which some people say was just too much. It was everywhere. Like I said, the Dynasty, American Gangster album, Kingdom Come, Black Album, Blueprint 3, Magna Carta Holy Grail. Am I missing anything? I don't think I am. Volume 1, 2, 3, Reasonable Doubt, Dynasty, Kingdom Come, American Gangster. So I think I hit every album. My top five, I'm going to have to say, starting with number 5. And I had put this on Facebook, and my Facebook link to my Twitter. I can't remember exactly how I put it, but definitely, let me see, number 5, or just albums I like in particular of Jay-Z's, you know what I'm saying, that's in the top 5. Definitely the Blueprint, of course, you gotta have that. You gotta have your Reasonable Doubt. I like the Dynasty. What else do I like? Magna Carta, Holy Grail, definitely in there. American Gangsters in there. You know what I'm saying? What else can I say? The Black Album, of course. But, it fluctuates from different albums through its whole catalog. One day I may feel like this is my top 5. The next day I may feel like this is my top 5. So it's really hard to say, you know what I mean, about what is the top 5. Even Jay-Z himself has came to say that, certain days he'll feel a certain way about which albums he put in his top 5. And I'm not biting off or jumping on the bandwagon, but when you take a day out and really listen to a person's whole catalog, you feel different things, because each album that dropped came out at a certain point in time in your life to whatever you was doing. Maybe it fit, maybe it didn't fit, maybe previous work fit in that summertime or that winter whenever you was doing what you was doing. So at the end of the day, it's like he still is one of the top rappers still to this day. In any list you put out, people hate to have the honorable mention because they don't look at him as a rapper anymore. They look at him as like, a GOAT, the greatest, you know what I'm saying? The ambassador of it all, the king, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I still feel like he puts out verses. Sometimes that's a miss. Some people don't get them, they go over their head, and sometimes it's a good verse, and sometimes it could be a horrible verse. Like the verse he did on Rick Ross' last album, For God Forgives I Don't. I don't like that Three Kings verse because it just seemed like he bullshitted, and he didn't take it as serious. It started off cool, but then it's like you can't compare that to the verse he did with the Maybach Music, the first song. If you take the verse from Jeezy's Seen It All, incredible verse. You know what I mean? I do think it felt like he put a little bit too much on it when he was said that tears came to his eyes when he talked about it, because if you really break it down, it's really nothing we haven't heard about before. I think he dropped a couple more names in that verse than we basically, heard before. But that's really nothing to say we haven't heard Jay-Z actually speak on shit like that. Probably a couple more incidents or putting more pieces to the puzzle to fix, you know what I mean, the situation. But at the end of the day, let's keep it real. We've heard him talk about that before. And at the same time, it's like, do we like that side of Jay-Z where he gets introspective and reflective and goes back and talks about his past? Or should he just stay the way he is now, where he raps about his everyday life from traveling, money, business-wise? Or do we like when he goes in the past? Frankly, I sometimes like that whole where he has to still show why he's on top. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But at the end of the day, it's like his catalog is one that's not matched by anybody in hip-hop, period. It's no debating that shit. Like, I don't know another artist where you could put the catalog up to Jay-Z. Of course, people will argue that, and, you know, they'll pick a lot of underground people. Some would say Eminem. Some would say T.I. You could take the mainstream and the underground. It depends on what you like. But if you take everything from bars to lines to song structure to production to body of work, how many can match that? You know what I'm saying? I'm not dick riding Jay-Z, pause, but I'm just saying, like, you have to give credit to where credit is due. But this video is just basically about what is your top 5 Jay-Z albums. Even if you're not a fan of Jay-Z like that, I'm quite sure you came across his albums. You know, you probably got friends that buy the albums, you hear the music, you know. He is one of the artists that name always comes up in debates as far as music, videos, business, no matter what, but mainly music. The only thing I would say I don't like about Jay-Z is the way he feels he's too important to do certain things as far as videos. He feels he's too big and too busy to be in a video for somebody, you know, or himself. I don't like that. I don't understand that. Even the great late Michael Jackson still did videos. No matter how big he was around the world, he still would shoot actual videos with him in the video. You know what I mean? So that's a pet peeve that I don't like about Jay-Z and don't get it. But when it comes to his wife, he will be in that video. But I do think he snubbed DJ Khaled by not being in the video for that song. Even if he didn't want to per se be at the area where the video was shot, you could have been anywhere and did your little scene with your, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't understand that, but it had his voice where people was basically in the video rapping his lyrics. I didn't really appreciate that, and that takes away from the song. Because let's face it, how many people really like that song based on who was featured on it? French Montana, well, I think Meek Mill and Ross on there. A lot of motherfuckers, when they heard Jay-Z, they tuned in for that. Let's keep it real. It wasn't the best verse, but you basically like the song because of that. And that's been going on for a while, where if Hove is featured on a song, you basically want to hear the song because he's on it to see what he gonna say. You know what I mean? And that's just real shit. Like, even with Jeezy's new song out, if it was just him, I don't think it'll have the buzz that it has, because the production is okay, the hook is alright, and Jeezy verse is really nothing special. Let's keep it real. It's a good song, but I've heard better. You know, you could take any song off The Recession, any song off TM103, and it's better than that song. You know, him and Jay-Z have done better songs. So the thing is, when you get Hove, if you work with him before, the goal should be to top what you did last time, not try to fit in. You know, and that's no knock to Jay-Z or anybody else that works with him. And I'm not straying off the topic. It's just the whole thing of, you know, what is the best Jay-Z albums? You know, what is the best Jay-Z song? So when you watch this video, really break it down to not just say like, oh, my top 5 albums are these. Why are they your top 5? You know what I mean? And out of each of those albums, what would be your top 5 songs? What's your top 5 Jay-Z lines, verses? You know what I mean? Let's really talk about it. But I just want to get my input on it. You know what I mean? If you follow me on Twitter, you see my top 5. I did like a list of a few artists of who I think have top 5 albums, you know, in their career and their catalog. And I may continue to do that here and there with top 5 mixtapes or top 5 verses, top 5 songs, things of that nature. You know what I mean? Just doing something different. But yet again, I am going to do the Common review. You know, like I said, I didn't buy the album. I may pick it up. But just showing y'all that I'm still here, still, you know, grinding it out. Just going through a lot of personal shit right now. Shit is crazy. Yeah, it's been a hell of a weird summer, but I'm going to get back to it. Don't worry about it. But other than that, you know, steady follow me on Instagram. If you don't know, I changed my Instagram name. It's IamKing_DZ. That's DZ. You know what I mean? I'll put it in the description. But other than that, Y'all stay up, stay fresh. I'm out.